Welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today, you dropped the bomb on me. We're going to be reviewing Tiny Bomb American Pilsner from Wiseacre Brewing Company out of Memphis, Tennessee. Kaboom!
Tiny bomb, you went off in my arms. Tiny bomb, left your mark on my heart. You hit fast, you hit hard. Tiny bomb, now I'm picking.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we're drinking and reviewing, and sometimes we go skiing, but not today. There's Andy in the attic. Nice shirt, I like it. We didn't plan this, by the way. There is Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today?
Tiny Bomb. Wiseacre.
All right. Everybody had this one? Mine too.
Oh my God.
Mine too.
No, mine's perfect.
Mine is spilling everywhere.
What did y'all do? Shake those up?
Yes.
Puddle.
Yeah, I got a little puddleage.
Mine's perfect.
Puddle.
Perfectly done.
Technical difficulties.
Be right back. Welcome back. Cheers, mates.
Cheers.
Cheers, mates.
Bomb went off.
Yeah,
The tiny bomb.
big explosion.
This beer's always been interesting to me. It is an American Pilsner, 4.5%, 39 IBUs. They draw their water from they have an artesian well down into the Memphis Sands aquifer. Incidentally, they also have a beer called Memphis Sands. And they use German and American Pilsner malt, Bravo hops, and Splatter Select hops, and 50 pounds of local wildflower honey. I think that's about it. Yeah. They say it gives aromas of sugar and clover. There's something uniquely not typical Pilsner.
Yeah.
And has a lightly sweet cereal flavor with spicy floral hop. Yeah. When you hear it and then you sip it and you're like, oh, okay, I can see some what they're. I didn't know this was made with honey, so I can kind of some of the sweetness out of it, and then you taste and yeah, we'll get to that later. This earned a bronze at the Great American Beer Festival 1 year after they opened the brewery, and it is now the number 4 best-selling craft Pilsner nationwide.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it says on there. All right.
What nation?
This is our. This is our third from Wiseacre Brewing. We did Oktoberfest and Skydog.
It's probably because you don't see a whole lot of craft Pilsners. Most of the time when you think Pilsners, they're
Miller Lite.
macro.
Yeah.
Or
a lot of the breweries have their own Pilsners. You know, Parrish has Pilsner, and
but they're not. That's not what a lot of them are known for.
also their distribution.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Wiseacre Brewing out of Memphis, Tennessee, is a regional brewery founded in 2013 by two brothers. The name Wiseacre comes from a term of endearment and scolding that their grandmother used on them as young troublemakers.
I will say I see this one. Like, when I travel and I'm looking for beer like that, I see this one a bit. Granted, I'm traveling regionally mostly, but this one is definitely places I go.
It is very available to me here, and it's sold at sporting events. It's on tap at restaurants, um, and a lot of times it's this, and then like a couple of Mexican lagers, of course, your macro light beers, and maybe like a Blue Moon. So a lot of time because I look back and I've logged this like 20 something times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's events. It's an event beer.
yeah, and that's not even all the I've had it so much more than that too.
So, what about their logo? Have we talked about that? Or you talked about that? Are you going to talk about that?
Wiseacre, the acorn.
Mm-hmm.
I never even noticed that. No, I knew that had an acorn. No, I hadn't talked about that. Maybe on some other. Maybe when we do Starless
Okay.
night,
Something to look forward to.
I'll remember to look forward to. Oh yeah, I'll remember to do that. Look into that.
All right. Everybody's had this one, right? All right. Jay, Mr. Pilsner himself. Why don't you go first for us?
Yeah, you guys know I'm not huge into a lot of Pilsners. Um, Sometimes they're just, I don't know, maybe it's a bitter or something on them. But and I would have never guessed until you mentioned it, Andy, them putting, would you say 50 pounds of honey into this?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that means in relation. Is that 50 pounds for, one barrel system that they're putting out for this? How much does that make? I mean, what is that equivalent to?
That ain't cheap. 50 pounds of honey.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think there's a few other beers that we drink that have honey. I mean, Hop Slam's obviously one that comes to mind right off out of Bell's. They use honey on that one. But you're right. I mean, it's not going to be cheap.
To make it year round,
Yeah, absolutely. So they obviously have it down to a system, and I can see why this got a medal at the Great American Beer Festival. I mean, it's a decent beer for a Pilsner. It has that little bit of sweetness. The way you described it was pretty spot on. Um, I've never been a big fan of the Memphis breweries, but this one's not bad. I'm gonna give it a 7. It falls into my higher level on the Pilsner category.
All right, I'll jump in and go next. Yeah, this is like Andy said. This is one that I've had a ton of. It's had it at weddings, and because it was the best option, and that's, again, it's you end up what's the best option, and this is often if those are type events, it's going to be, potentially the best choice. It's it's okay. I think we've talked about this probably on just about every Memphis beer review that we've done, which is that there's just something about the Memphis breweries, and I think we've all kind of come to the conclusion it has to be the water, because it's just something a little bit different. This one's interesting though. Never, when and I've said this once or twice before, when I'm just drinking a beer and I'm not doing beer review with you guys, I don't really stop and think about the flavors and too much. I do some, but not to the point to where we talk about what's in the beer. Obviously, don't look up every beer. So when you start talking about this one and you talk about kind of the floral and that little spice, I mean, I think that definitely comes through. I thought it was just a little bit of bitter for me at the beginning, but I think it really is more that floral spice than a bitter, because it's not probably something I would have noticed without discussing it, per se. But that all being said, I mean, it's fine. I'm definitely going to choose this over a macro, at any kind of event that I go to, just because it's better. So I'm going to give it a 6.5. I like it enough, but it's not something I ever buy if I don't have to. Let's put it that way. Andy, what do you think?
This to me is one of their better beers from Wiseacre, and when I first drank it, I was kind of like in a disbelief that it was a Pilsner. I was like, wow, this gets a unique flavor that you're not expecting from Pilsner. And I don't know if it is the honey. I don't know if it's type of hops that they're using. The in a lot of the Pilsners, you'll see like Saaz hops. This one uses Bravo hops. And I can't recall many times that we've had something that we knew had Bravo in it. It says it uses, I remember, Bravo bittering hops and then the Splatter Select aroma hops. So 2 different hops, so for 2 different effects, I guess. But I've had it so much, it is the better option on things, an offering. And I didn't know about any of the ingredients until this review. So now it's like, and the flavor that they describe coming out of it. And so it's, now I can really pick out,
Makes
that,
sense.
when I first drank this, I was like, this tastes like, I was thinking almost a pale ale, based on like the bitter, I got from it. And then I still have to kind of remind myself, yeah, that's a Pilsner. But it's good, and I like it. I've given it a 7.5 over and over, and I'll continue. I'll drink it again. I've got no choice. I'm going to drink it again because I live in an area where we don't have many options at events.
You just stop going to events and just stay in the attic.
Just stay in the attic.
It's always an option. Does Atticus get lonely when you leave?
He does. He doesn't say anything about it. He keeps to himself.
Makes sense. That will be a 7.0 for the Tiny Bomb American Pilsner from Wiseacre. Definitely, if you've had Wiseacre or Tiny Bomb, let us know down in the comments. Come hop on into our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room. The 3 of us are there, along with others who have joined us along the way these last 4 years of doing Hopped Up Beer Review. I also got some links down below. Hopped Up Beer Review merch, Hopped Up Beer Review Patreon. Check all of those out. Lastly, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell. We would definitely, I always appreciate that. Appreciate you making it this far in this video and hanging out with us. And we will see you on the next one. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I'm Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Tiny bomb,